Hey everyone, welcome to the Dai Podcast. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on Tekken 8. My buddy and guest with me tonight for this is Dai. So just recently there was the Tekken 8 trailer or teaser utilizing the new engine, and apparently was Harada had said on Twitter that was actually using in-game engine. It wasn't just like some kind of video, which is something we noticed, that it looked like it was actually real fighting besides the cinematic punches and everything and kicks that they were doing. But yeah, it looks really good. But yeah, it just happened during the state of play. And during the end of the trailer, it said that stay tuned, there will be more information coming up soon. So Dai, your thoughts about how the trailer was, real quick.
I thought it was very beautiful, and like you said, we noticed, because if you watch the announcer says fight, when a match starts, and so I thought that I knew right away that it just transitioned that quickly between the CG and the fight, and I'm hoping that's going to be like, sometimes like the arcades or the story's going to be looking a little bit better than just the normal gameplay, but I'm hoping the whole gameplay is going to look like that regardless, and I think it will. I think we're at the technology point where it can handle that kind of graphics, and I just hope they're not gonna, I hope it looks graphically good, but I hope they're not just gonna short a lot of other stuff to make it beautiful, that makes sense. That's another thing I thought about.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the netcode's good on this one. I mean, it's going to have the rollback technology. I think that I know it's definitely probably using Unreal 5, or what is it? What's the newest one? Yeah, it's Unreal 5, isn't it? The newest engine?
Yeah.
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 So, and it looks like it's running on a PS5, but apparently it's going to be on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, so that's good. Hopefully we get some crossplay.
They have to. I think Street Fighter announced they were going to do it, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so if they do it, like, that's kind of like death sentence on your game if you don't do it now.
Yeah, there's no reason that any modern game right now should not have crossplay between all systems. It'll help the fighting game community and people that are coming in to the series that may have friends that play it on another console. Since, we got Activision doing it with Call of Duty and all that stuff. This is perfect for something for Bandai to try to do.
Yeah. And like Activision does with Call of Duty, you can disable playing against PC users if you're worried about like mods and stuff like that. So there's no excuse saying, oh, you're going to be like up against mods and other things, There's no excuse for it now, because they could definitely program it or set it up to disable, oh, I don't want to play against PC players, or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
And I really think that this is a great opportunity for them to expand the roster as well. If they continue doing what they did with the guest characters for the DLC, as we were talking before we got on here, it would be really nice to see like Geese come back, Akuma, some of these characters that they brought in with 7. But one of the ones that we'd love to see, and it kind of references to another video we're going to be making, is having like Kiryu or Ichiban from the Yakuza series be a guest character. I think it would be kind of cool to have Ichiban replace like Negan, like you said, since he uses the bat in the game as his weapon. That'd be kind of cool to keep that fighting style going and put that Ichiban style into it.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think it would be foolish for Sega or Ryoga Gotoku not to try to advance the progress. Say, oh, we need to work something out, because that's how things work. Whether it be America or Japan, looking back on it, that's how Kingdom Hearts, something that shouldn't have never worked, kind of did.
Right.
They just, so Sega needs to step up, Ryoga Gotoku, Namco needs to step up and get it done, because people want it. People want it, so.
Now, if they don't want to bring in Geese, they could probably bring in Regal from King of Fighters.
Yeah. Or Geese's son, because they're
Rock
making
Howard.
the new. Yeah, they're making the new Marka Garu which it'll probably be a few years, but it'll give hype for the new game coming out. So
yeah. So things that we would like to see continued in this game. Do you have anything that would you?
I think you told me this yesterday when we were talking that they should get rid of the rage arts. I definitely think that. I think they need to tone down on the tracking moves, so sidestepping would be much more viable and much more strategic, I guess, and tactical, because half the time you get sidestep, it doesn't matter, it's still going to track and hit you, and they could just kind of spam that. So if you're playing up against a good character and they know you love to sidestep, they're just going to spam tracking moves, and it's kind of hard to get out. So it kind of becomes like a semi 3D and kind of still you're more 2D, even though it's a 3D aspect of it. So
something I'd like to see them keep though is the story mode. I really enjoyed the story mode for Tekken 7, and I'd like to see how they transition that into the new game.
Okay. So do you want them to keep it like 7, of course, but do you want them to do the alternative stories go more in depth in the side characters like they used to do?
Well, usually if you just played the campaign mode, you'd get the, with Tekken 5 and 6, you had the beginning story mode, the middle, and the end. I mean, that was kind of cool. But I think that the story mode was a little bit more interactive. You actually played almost every character throughout that whole story mode, with little side stories here and there. So an evolution of that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I really think they should be very cinematic and good to finish off the fight between. Well, start the fight between Kazuya and Jin, because if it lasts as long as his dad, or Kazuya and his dad, it will probably go on for at least a couple games, I would gather, not just one.
Well, I mean, unless you have it to where, because I got the feeling that when Jin kind of showed the devil side of him but didn't fully transform, and then when he hit his dad and it did the whole thing of him breaking the chains, he's breaking the cycle of the demon side, maybe that this might be the end of him trying to break that cycle, to get his redemption away from him. And it may be him killing his dad to kind of kill off the Mishima family. Do you just speculate or predictions? Do you think Hayachi is fully dead? Or a lot of people say he's going to come back some way, but they killed off his dad, Jinpachi, and they didn't bring him back. So I think it's done. I think he's done. I think he's bit the dust finally. Yeah, I think he is too. I think it's fitting that he's gone, because they said that Tekken 7 was going to be the final Tekken game, but I think it was the final conclusion for Hayachi, some purposes. So I really like their art style direction. I think, like Gabriel said, with it's more realistic looking than the stylized look we've got in the past. And even with 7, they kind of tried to move away from the anime cartoony style to more realistic. So having the characters look like they do, it looks really good, and I can't wait to see. As far as roster goes, I'd like to see a lot of the newer characters transition over. I'd like to see Eddie gone, honestly, and have Christy come back. I'd love to see who else? We were talking about
Paul needs to go. He's old.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe introduce his son or something, or have
maybe pass the torch. Incorporate that.
Have Forrest Law come back. Law's son, Marshall's son. Pass on the torch to the next generation. That'd be really cool. I honestly think that would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like they did it with Julia and her mom, So it's like they could do it with other characters as well. So
yeah,
I think Julia should be a playable character day one, but because she's still quite young though.
Yeah. In a way, she's probably the same age as Jen, but she seems like she's younger in this game than she's been in the previous game.
Yeah. She drank from the lake and got young, found in youth or something.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'd like to see some other stuff with like maybe some of these new characters that they introduced, and but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm kind of
Kuma the third.
Huh?
Kuma the third.
Kuma the third. Yeah. Either
Panda the second.
Panda the second. Yeah. Well, Alex or Roger to come back, or like
oh yeah.
I mean, I want to see some goofy things, but I want it to be realistic as much as we can.
Yeah.
It would kind of be cool to have other character crossovers, like maybe Shang Tsung. If you didn't want to have Bring Mokujin come back, put like Shang Tsung in there and have it where he changes into different Tekken characters, and he basically has that same ability, basically having those different fighting styles. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping that we're not going to have to wait. I really hope that we might get a May or June release next year. I don't know. It's still maybe a little too soon, but then again, who knows at this point? Because they might try to be competing with Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I think so too. I was talking to Gabriel and he was saying that they'll probably wait a year after Yakuza or not Street Fighter 6 comes out, because he said he didn't want to compete with Street Fighter 6. Harada did.
Oh, Harada,
yeah. And so I hope they kind of don't. But I mean, I know Capcom would be the jerks to do it. They would do the reverse of that. So it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the good thing about Harada is that he loves what he does. He loves the series, and he does it for the fans. And he's, he has respect within the fighting game community enough to not go and say, "Hey, you got Street Fighter 6, but look at my game," and try to outshadow that, because it's like we should all want all these games to come out to be competitive and have its lifespan. And that's another video we'll have to do, is about the Street Fighter. Hopefully I can get Adrian on for that one. But I am really glad that we're getting Tekken 8 over Tekken Tag 3. So because it's actual canon story instead of like more of a side story. And I know it would have been cool to have, but perhaps we'll get that after Tekken 8. Yeah, Tekken 8. Yeah, we're gonna be pushing. I'll be pushing 50 by that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, what characters do you hope, besides like the more legacy characters? Like they'll probably just keep replacing King, because that's a character that just wears like a luchador mask, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
And so they can replace King with the third or fourth, whatever. But what characters do you hope don't come back? Not like necessarily like legacy characters, but other characters you just hope not to see, besides like Negan. Because I know we kind of talked about Negan being replaced by Ichiban.
Well, it really depends, because I mean, you think about the characters and their ages at this moment. Nina and Anna have been in every game, and they're going to be pushing like 50 at this point. And it's kind of like Ryu and Chun-Li and Ken. They're all pushing their 50s right now. Still kicking butt. But not everybody can be Chuck Norris, so.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think that's true. And so I'm trying to think of, like, I know one of my mains, Katarina. I don't think she's going to come back, honestly. I don't think Gigas is going to come back.
No. I don't think Lucky Chloe will probably come back. Even though
you don't think? I think she will.
If they bring back Christy, there's no reason to have Chloe come back.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I would prefer Christy over Lucky Chloe.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lucky Chloe. I thought she was a great addition to the series. But then you think of like what, Lydia and who's the other one? Come on, Vince. There's Claudio, the one dude. Who's like, seems like he's a priest.
Yeah, we know he's coming back because he brought he was taking Zhao Yu somewhere, so that has to continue somewhere.
Uh, what's her name? Zarina or Sophie?
Zafina?
Zafina, yeah.
Zafina. Yeah, we know. I don't. I think Eliza, the vampire girl, is going to come back. Because one, she's immortal vampire, so why wouldn't she come back? But I think she might become like more of a joke character.
She may.
Yes.
I mean, technically, she's a narcoleptic vampire. The man, there's so many characters that were added this time around that you wonder. I mean, it's great. That was one cool thing about Tekken 7. They had this very huge roster at the start, and they just started adding all these different characters. At first, it was like we got 3 guest characters. Then it was we got 2 guest characters. Then it was like let's start bringing back characters from the past, plus a few new ones here. I don't know. I mean, I would want a big roster, but it all depends. I'd like to keep it to where we have very minimum DLC, if possible.
Yes.
But I know in this day and age, it's going to be a little bit impossible. But
yeah, I know day one, they at least have to have at least 25 characters started. At least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the minimum. If they go for like 30 and 40, they're really definitely going to get a high score on, oh yeah, they definitely did it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but because I think there's maybe 40 characters or something like that. There's a lot apparently been rumored and going to be in Street Fighter.
Oh, in Street Fighter? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They, like I said, it's like new games really need to have a lot of, like, it's not like early 2000s where they could only have 12 characters, you know?
Yeah, you had smaller discs and smaller disc size, so the games, you had a limited roster, and some people were just retools of previous characters.
Exactly.
Or skin swaps. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I really think that I think that next year will probably be the last year we'll see Tekken 7 at EVO.
Yes.
Good for us as we go and get ready for EVO next year. But because like this year was the last year for
Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5. So we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to all that. But yeah, the trailer was great. I wasn't expecting to see that. It got me hyped, and my son was all like, "Daddy, you okay? I know you love the series, but." I was like, "Yes, it's awesome." I was so excited. But I definitely think that there's some really good possibilities of things that could come down the pipe, and I'm looking forward to it. It's really good that we're going to get another Tekken, and it's kind of cool being able to see a series continue on with the longevity it has. And compared to like Street Fighter, they're just now on Street Fighter 6, even though they've released multiple versions of the previous series or the previous games. So it's definitely gonna be beautiful from what I could tell just from that trailer.
Yes.
So
definitely. Yeah, I hope, and they need to learn from and Street Fighter needs to learn this too. They just need to learn not to rush it and have everything done, at least a paid story mode, a good online, enough characters, and they'll be good. Don't need to be it just needs to be released done on day one. Yes,
completed game from the get-go, so that way we could just play this game and then go from there. That was the biggest problem with Street Fighter 5. And I know that it really affected us here in my local gaming community because we liked the game when it came out, but it was unfinished.
Yeah.
A lot of quality of work. There was no arcade mode. It was even the way you unlock characters was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
if they, I don't think they're gonna repeat it, but they repeat that with 6, and you have games like if Tekken 8 does good and King of Fighters did pretty good, their online was kind of a little bit sketchy. I actually had no problem with it, but if their online does good, Like, who's gonna go back for Street Fighter 7 when that comes out and buy day one? They're just gonna wait like 4 or 5 months and be like, okay, now it's ready. And that's really gonna hurt. That's really gonna hurt them, you know?
I think they don't do this well with 6 when 7 comes out. If they continue on the series, it won't be anywhere near. It won't make it. It will, but people are, like you said, people are going to be very wary to buy this game day one.
Yeah.
Which could hurt the series. And you think about CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk and how the fact that game was not finished when it came out, had so many glitches and everything, and then they worked to do whatever they can, but the damage was done at that point.
And look how popular, Mortal Kombat was, like, with the 1, 2, and 3, and then all of a sudden, like, probably through the whole PS2 era, they did terrible games. And then 10 brought it back, but if they screw up with 10, we probably won't have Mortal Kombat at all anymore.
No,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As much as I did like Armageddon, Deception, and Deadly Alliance, but 10 was what really kind of rekindled that flame. It really redesigned what we think of as Mortal Kombat, and is what kept it going for what we got now. But yeah, who knows? But the definitely check out the trailer if you haven't. Of course, we have the trailer playing right now. So we hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let us know what your thoughts are as far as what's going to be coming down the pipe for Tekken 8. What do you expect? What characters would you like to see? What would you like to be taken away from the game? How would you feel, or what do you feel would make this game better? Until then, everyone, have a great one. We'll catch you later.